Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
What are some unethical financial hacks that you know of that won't land you in prison? Become a politician and accept monetary gifts in exchange for favorable legislation. This is 100% illegal and will totally land you in, oh wait. If you're good enough, it will land you in Congress. The real money is in the insider trading. You can bet on a company and pass legislation that all but guarantees their success. And you can bet against a company and pass legislation that sinks them. There's an app you can use to track and mimic the sales, purchases of stock carried out by members of Congress. First of all, you and me start working at the bank. Doesn't matter the position, okay? Just so long as we get in there, right? Then we just go there every day. Do the work. Gain their trust until we get them in the palm of our hand. Alright, so how we get the money? That's the beauty of it, bro. They deposit the money into our bank accounts. Week after week, month after month. They're not even going to know they're being robbed. And then 20 or 30 years later, we walk out the front door like nothing even happened. They won't even know what hit them. If you've got a decent bit of land, find out what your state's requirements are for agricultural tax exemption. Significant drop in property taxes. Friend keeps 6 cows because that's one of the things that qualify you. She's also got a bunch of horses in the same barn. Another friend sells about $2,750 in nursery stock from her greenhouse. $2,500 a year is the requirement in her state. It's not illegal. Slightly unethical because the point of the program is to help out farmers. Doing the bare minimum to qualify to save on property taxes is obviously not what they meant. Many wealthy people notoriously do this. Some of them are famous actors and musicians. One guy buried his ex-wife on a golf course. Deleted. This is the basis for many Christmas tree farms. Big Christmas tree, at it again. I've made tens of thousands of dollars opening bank accounts for the sign-up bonuses. Some banks like Chase, I've had 7 accounts over the years. I did this when the new accounts only required a regular deposit. But all of the offers I see these days require a regular direct deposit. Are you doing that? Or am I looking in the wrong places? You can probably split the direct deposit for your paycheck to more than one account. That's called churning, and it's not really unethical IMO. I mean, they're banks, it's alright. Yay, I wouldn't say it's unethical. However, I obviously do have to lie sometimes as I've gotten into opening business checking accounts. Do I own a business? Nope. But I have to make up a lot of stuff about it, lol. Setting up an emergency fund to collect emergency donations, then keep 90% of the dollar. My late wife's sister set up a GoFundMe during her cancer diagnosis without our permission. We were financially privileged, especially relative to our friends we made on the cancer ward, and asked people donate to research if they wanted to do something financially. It raised $35,000 before we caught wind of it and forced her to shut it down. They kept all the money. Needless to say, I don't still have a relationship with my late wife's family. Not for that specifically, but it is illustrative. What an ultimate scumbag thing to do. Removed. God, what a grift. The concept and initial message was incredibly positive, and I still think it is. But the folks that ran it sure did fumble, steal the bag. Their mansion is a safe place for members to use, but only themselves are allowed to use it. The Red Cross Special. 2003 SoCal wildfires, looking at you specifically. I'm starting to think this whole thing about relying on charities to solve all of our social problems might not be a great idea. Secure a conservatorship of a lonely elderly neighbor. Then pay yourself a conservatorship fee to manage them until they pass away. Then put the money in a hedge fund you own and take an additional 2/20. My dad's brother and then wife did this to my great aunt. She had dementia and other illnesses. She was married into a political South American family and therefore they had very decent money. They made themselves her sole caretakers on paper and were paid $5,000 to $10,000 a month each for being her caretaker. But they actually hired an undocumented woman and her sister to take care of my great aunt. They didn't even pay the ladies a combined income of $2,000 a month. After my great aunt died, my uncle was divorced by his wife, who promptly got in her favor 7 of the 10 properties my great aunt had under her name, as well as a large cash settlement from his own bank account and from my great aunt's inheritance, ETA. And that wife got away with a lot of bullshit before my great aunt died. She would have local salons come by my great aunt's home to do my great aunt's hair and nails, but would also come over for herself and her friends to get their stuff done too on my great aunt's dime. What a couple of assholes. People say karma fixes it, but so often it doesn't. Drag barbecues from people's yards to the curb. Once the barbecue is at the curb, it's considered garbage and not illegal to take and resell for cash. I see you, Ricky. Frig off, lay. The betting apps have sign-on bonuses. Something like bet $5 and receive $150 in bonus bets. Bet your $5, then put half of the $150 on one team, half on the other. That's a free $75 for YA. Not unethical at all since they are offering it, but figured people should know. When online betting came to Iowa, all the big betting sites were offering a free $1,000 to $1,500 bet. Pick 2 sites that have pretty close odds on either side of a bet each side of it. You lose the $1,000 on one site but then win the original bet plus odds on the other site. On the site you lose, they rebate the bet. Now do the same thing again and it becomes withdrawable money. I made about $8,000 doing this. There is no risk. But you have to have the upfront funds to make the initial bets. Technically, though, this is legal and therefore not unethical. Technically, though, this is legal and therefore not unethical. A philosophy major could write a whole doctoral thesis on this sentence. Technically, though, this is legal and therefore not unethical. The whole point of this thread is finding unethical hacks that are legal. Ethical equals legal. Some of these companies require a 2x-5x playthrough in order for those funds to be eligible for withdrawal. Edited first word from most to some, as people have had other experiences than me. Either way, make sure you read the T's and C's. These companies aren't in business to lose money. In Australia you only have to bet once and you can withdraw it after. Even if you bet on something with ridiculously low odds. Like if the USA was playing Tahiti in basketball. It'll still work.